Education is the key, and it's just my opinion on this, but history is, to not know your history is to be amnesic. I mean, if you met a person who couldn't tell you where they were from 1970 to 80, you would define them as a fairly damaged person. But how many people do you meet who can tell you where Western civilization was between 900 and 1600? People don't know. So since they don't know, they can be fed any shit that is out there, and they don't know. They have no idea. So the way to gain power is to reclaim a command of history. And then you can, like for instance, I remember when the Vietnam War was breaking out, and I was in school at the University of California at Berkeley, and the professor said, we all have to read Thucydides. We all have to read about the war against Sparta, not Sparta, the war against Syracuse, which was in Sicily, and how it destroyed Greek democracy, and how it allowed the ascendancy of the dictatorship of the 30. And why did this happen? Because the Athenian citizenry could not understand the war aims, because the Athenian leadership didn't understand clearly what the war aims were. All the mistakes of the Vietnam War were repeated or occurred in this war, which was fought well before the year zero. But you tell most people to read Thucydides, and they just give you a strange look. Well, it's not because we want to be obscurantists or we want to carry on conversations like Cambridge intellectuals. It's because we want to know what to do with the future. And the first thing you do with the future is you don't make the stupid mistakes that were made in the past. Like this New Age thing amazes me. I mean, there are people who call themselves spiritual thinkers who think that the spiritual quest began with Madame Blavatsky, for crying out loud. Well, I've got news for you. People have been over this ground again and again and again. It always amazes me that people will give their loyalty to a guru who is obviously, a grab tailor and a tax skate and a jerk. And you say to them, well, have you read Plato? Or have you studied Nagarjuna? Do you know what Moses Maimonides has to say about this? And say, why do you follow this guy? He probably hasn't even read these people. Do you know that there have been some fairly bright people around over the last 6,000 or 7,000 years? And yeah, they don't have a white limousine, or they won't invite you up to their place in the Hamptons or something, but they're good. And all you have to do is go to the public library and read this stuff. And people don't want that. They want flash. This very sincere people come to my workshops, and I realize that they want me to tell them this stuff. And because I guess this is better than sitting home on a Saturday afternoon and reading. But Plato said it a lot better than I'm saying it, and so did a lot of other people. Civilization is a vast storehouse of wisdom, but if you don't avail yourself of it, then you have to figure it out based on what's happened since Nixon or something. And you're not going to get very far. They trap you with that. I don't want to rave about this, but what I saw happen to my own university, I think that a conscious decision was made by the American establishment at the close of the 1960s. And what they said to themselves was, this idea of universal education and an educated citizenry, this we don't like. We see now what happens when you educate your citizens. They figure out the game, and they come to you with their plans for reform and how to make it better. So I was among, at least at the University of California, I was among the last people to go through that university where the goal was to inform you about the nature of the enterprise called Western civilization. And after that, what they got into was this MBA, data entry, all this stuff. The universities became trade schools. And what they give you is video games. They give you TV, video games, and they give you a skill. And you say, well, now you're a level 3 data enterer, and we're gonna give you $35,000 a year, and please shut up about it. That's it. You've been brought inside, but we're not interested in your opinions. We're giving you a life. We're giving you a trade, and we'll be giving you some orders downstream, and by God, you better snap to when the moment comes. This has nothing to do with democracy. This is fascism, is what it is.